Final little extension lesson for this inequalities unit. We're going to take everything we've been doing and just apply it to inequalities that have more than one or two steps to them. You've seen these type of things with equations, but we're going to do it with inequalities. So I'm going to go through 3 example problems. That's all I'm going to do. And then hopefully you can use what you see here to apply to a couple of practice problems on your own. So the first example problem that we're going to look at is 10 times r minus 1, it's in parentheses, is greater than or equal to 20. So the first thing that I would look to do here is right here on the left side, since you've got 10 times this thing in parentheses, you can distribute the 10 to the r and the 10 to the 1. So what that's then going to look like is 10r minus 10 is greater than or equal to 20. And then using inverse operations, I'm going to add 10 to both sides. And that's going to look like 10r is greater than or equal to 30. And then my last step to undo the 10 times r is to divide by 10 on both sides. And in doing that, you're going to end up with r is greater than or equal to 3. So that's your final answer here. And just as a quick reminder to graph your solution, number line, and then you've got your 3. And I'm going to have a closed circle on the 3 because it's or equal to 3. And it's r is everything that's greater than or equal to 3. So my arrow points towards the right. All right, so there's example 1. Let's go to another one. For our next example, we've got negative 14 is greater than or equal to 7 times v minus 4. So again, I'm going to look to distribute first to get rid of the parentheses on this side. So it's going to be 7 times v and 7 times 4. So now my inequality is going to say negative 14 is greater than or equal to 7v minus 28. And then I'm going to add 28 to both sides. That's the inverse of minus 28. And that's going to get me to, on the left side, positive 14. Why? Negative 14 plus 28 is positive 14. Is greater than or equal to 7 times v. And then my last step here is to divide by 7 and divide by 7. So I'll end up with 2 is greater than or equal to v. If you wanted to, you could write this like kind of flip the order of it so that the variable is first. So that would state v is less than or equal to 2. Either of those are correct statements, but it's better typically to have the variable come first. It's easier to read it, and then we can graph it. So 2. And we're going to have a closed circle because it's equal to, and its v is less than. So it's going to all go to the left. Okay, last example that should help you in completing your work today. This one we're going to have the quantity 2 is less than or equal to negative 2 times u minus 3. All right, so again, first step is distributing on the right side of the inequality. Now, when you distribute, negative 2 times u is negative 2u. Now, it's going to be minus, and then I'm distributing negative 2 to 3, so I'm going to have minus -6. But remember, when you have subtracting and a negative, you want to turn it into an addition problem, and you do that by adding the opposite. So this I'm going to rewrite as 2 is less than or equal to -2u plus 6. Why? I made it add, so addition, and then the opposite. Opposite of -6 is 6. My last steps are going to be to just use inverse operations here. So I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. That's going to leave me with -4 is less than or equal to -2u. And then my last step is to divide by -2. And since I'm dividing by a negative, that's going to cause me to need to flip the sign to keep the inequality true. So my final answer here is going to be, so -4 divided by -2 is +2. So I've got 2, and then I'm flipping my sign is greater than or equal to, and then -2 divided by -2 cancels out, so I'm left with u. And then, like I said on the previous problem, you want to have your variable first typically. It reads more sensibly when you have that. So u is less than or equal to +2. The first statement that we wrote, 2 is greater than or equal to u, is also true, but it looks a little bit better this way. So then your graph, which I'm sure you're pros at by now, is going to look like this. I'm going to have a closed circle on 2, and it's going to be less than, so to the left. And that's it. Hopefully those 3 example problems help you through your work today. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. But have a great day of work. Bye-bye.